My name is Yana. I am 21. I'm journalist student of the Ivan Franko National University, and I am also work as a journalist and to try to tell the world about our life just now.
Hi, Yana. It's very good to see you again. It's 3 months ago that we saw each other.
Yes.
And now, today, it's 2 weeks ago that the war has started. Do you remember the moment you understood that Russia invaded Ukraine?
Yes, and I can't explain it clearly because we have been monitoring the news about accumulation of Russian troops around our borders every day, and we heard this appeal from Putin on 21st February, and in which he is denying our history, and we understand that a war may happen. And after all, we have been, our country have been bleeding for 8 years in the East and Crimea. And in our mind, we understand that it's not over and Russia can attack us, but it was still a little shock because imagine going to bed on the 23rd of February, we set in the alarm, we planned our days, getting up, have breakfast, go to work, go to university, and you awakened by sirens like us in Lviv, but our friends from Kyiv, Kharkiv, Kramatorsk, Dnipro, Mariupol, Odessa, Zaporizhia were awakened not only by sirens, but also by explosions. And at first, it was a little scary. It was scary, and we don't understand, is it real or not, and why from different sides they attacked us. But then this panic quickly subsided because we saw that people are very organized, that we have a really strong army, that we send money to support our army. And for example, we have our unique National Bank set up a special account to raise funds to support the armed, and it has received almost 300 million hryvnias in one day. And we have a really powerful network of volunteers, and it was maybe hours when they started work. And we understand that we can fight, but but sometimes even now, when we have second week, you can sleep and think that maybe it's not real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are a student, but you also work as a journalist already in these times, right? How does this work look like in these days?
This work look like different, depends on where you are, because in our regions, we sometimes we work not only our job, but we do jobs our colleagues from Kyiv, from Sumy, because they can't, they have, maybe sometimes they have no electricity or something like that. And but when they can, they do it. And we have our national marathon of our main channels. All of them, they have a unique program, unique news, and they translate this news 24 hours that can, that's people feel that they are informed, that they understand everything, and we also have good communication with our government, because not only by television, but in social media, because sometimes, for example, in Kharkiv, Russian army attacked television and try to produce their news. And that's why the social media is very important, because it's very quickly we can understand, is it our or not our channel, what happens, and so on. And in our regions, we also, like journalists, speak with people from other countries. From other countries to we want to share our history right now, and we translate news in different languages, and we also speak with our people from different regions to collect their stories. And it's maybe it's not very, we understand that we have to do it, we want to do it, we want to tell our stories, but sometimes it's really difficult, because for example, when you write news, when you collect photos, there are journalistic part of work when you understand that you should have clearly a headline, you should take photos with some compositions, also rules, and you do it, and then you realize that all these people on these photos are already died, and you imagine that you write about stories about buildings, destroying buildings, about children who are already dead, and they don't have any future, and it's scary.
I don't know how it is to experience war, and so I don't know what you're going through. Can you maybe try to describe it a bit? So what is happening maybe on a daily basis? What are your emotions? What has changed in the last 2 weeks?
At first, I can say that we understand that we have really powerful nation and powerful army, volunteers, journalists, just our people, because army is a great part of national defense, but we also but even powerful armies, they can't do their job without without public rear, and we try to be this powerful rear. Even now, when you can see maybe these photos from Lviv railway station, from Ternopil railway station, when there are so many children with women's, and there are so many volunteers that and we have food, we have warm clothes for them, we try to support them. And this situation, we have the same situation in different in other areas, because if you now, for example, if you want to be the part of this of armed forces, of local territorial defense, you maybe even can't do it, because there are so many people with experience that want to protect our country, that it's sometimes you don't understand that it's really real, that we have this powerful support. And at first we wanted at first, yes, we wanted the word to call a spade, that not the Ukrainian crisis, not the Ukrainian problem, but the war when Russia attacked Ukraine. But now I have to say that it's not even a war, it's a genocide of Ukrainian people. because even war has its own rules. And what do we see instead? Russian troops are attacking civilians, attacking hospitals, kindergartens, schools, maternity hospitals, dormitories. And it's not military objects, it's not army, it's just the children, just civil people. And they shoot civilians while trying to evacuate, and our government, they try to organize these green corridors, organize evacuation, but it's disrupted because they shooting or them, they are just it's for example, in Mariupol we have one of the scariest situation because it's 9 days when they have no food, no water, no electricity, and Russian occupate all city, and we have our buses with food, with water, with medicine, but we can't take to the city because every time when we organize this evacuation, they start shooting and they don't let people go, they don't let people live. And we even don't understand about how many people are already died in Mariupol because we can't collect this. And we, for example, the latest numbers that it is almost 1,300 civilian people, but it's only like official numbers. We don't know how many people are in mass graves right now. And what is scary is that it is Europe, it is 21st century, and people are dying because they don't have water.
When you talk about it, I feel like I can really hear that you are a journalist and that you can also see it from a journalistic perspective. What about you personally? When you wake up, how do you feel? Do you constantly read the news, or do you try to take some time off? I don't know, maybe for half an hour to get your mind off things, or is this impossible at the moment?
Now I think it's impossible. Maybe I tell my relatives to that. Don't read news every minute. Take some time for rest. But as I am a journalist and for my job, I read it every time. And maybe I can have rest only when I'm sleeping. Yes, and but if you read all day, if you write all day about these events, you also dream about it sometimes, and it's like we understand that we knew in this reality, in war reality, and we sometimes we try to have some routine. And especially for me, I try to read some books, for example, when I'm eating, because I used to do it before war. I tried to have my some rituals in the morning, in the evening, like before war, and such like it's very simple things, but they helped you to feel alive, and they help you to get your mind clear. But we also understand that most of us have already had some traumas, and for our mind, it's very danger, and we will maybe defend it all our life, because it's something that you can't just read in books or see in films. It's something that you should you should live, and you should understand it. And maybe the most danger now, don't realize that we will have problems. but we understand it and we are ready to go through it.
I feel like you're a very strong person, Yana, and it's incredible what you're going through, and also what, how brave you are. Is this something you see that you're brave, that you're doing an important job at the moment as a journalist, or how would you say, how would you see yourself?
It's depends on days, I think, because first week it was difficult to realize is this job really necessary, and but now I understand that we should speak with other people. We should share our stories, and I understand that it's important, but. Sometimes I want to have results more quickly, and but it's every one of us want, yes, and it's normal. And at first I don't realize is my mind is strong, but now when I communicate with my friends, with my relatives, I understand that they have more Hispanic than I, but it's also I am thankful that I am not panic, because I can help them. I can speak with them. I can it depends on situation, because sometimes people don't need this speaking. It's just to be heard. They just want to speak about their fears, about their relatives, and understand that they are not alone, because maybe in our regions in West, most of us, yes, our relatives in on the war, our fathers, sons, boyfriends, they protect our country, but we still have our houses. But many people from east, from south, from Kyiv, Mariupol, from Irpin, they lost their houses, and it's difficult to put your whole life in one bag and go to another city, to another country. And maybe the most difficult for me now is realizing that I can't help these people, because yes, I can speak with them, I can share information, I can have some volunteer, but I can't return their lives, and this is the most difficult feeling.
Thank you so much, Yana, for this interview, and for sharing your perspective and telling me and us about the work you're doing on the ground. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening.